what happened or what has happened. You don't know. Especially when you really don't see that person doing anything to anybody. You don't see nobody's hurt, right? Anybody out here lost some teeth? Getting in a fight with me? you got any solid things. So then you're basically a brat. You're a brat. This person, no, look, let me tell you something else. I'm glad I thought about it. Racism, with that, everybody ain't gonna love you. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you manipulate. Black people need to hear this. Mexicans need to hear this. White people, you need to hear it too. Everybody is not going to love you. That's what your parents groom you and teach you when you are a kid. Everybody ain't your friend. That's what they tell you. And everybody ain't gonna like you and love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So can you ever really solve the problem of racism? Can you ever really solve it? Nope, not really. You can have a system that does not have racism. You can have a culture that does not have racism, but you can't make everybody love you. It's not going to happen because it may not be racism. It may be things you brought on yourself. Why you thinking, you think it's racism, but it might be things you brought on yourself. So that's how it is. That's life. So guess what? You have to carry yourself realizing, okay, everybody ain't gonna love me. Just go with who loves you. Just go with the people that roll with you. Go with the people that accept you. Go with the people that enjoy your company. Go with the people that, feel you. But if you ain't being felt, you got to depart. You know what I'm saying? You got to depart. If people playing games, you got to depart. That's how I am. Like if people playing games, I'm departing. And you can say racism, you can say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, you know in your heart of hearts why it is the way it is, and what the reasons are. You know. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I individualize things. That's what I do. I individualize. I like instead of saying I don't like a whole people, I individualize and I do nothing collectively. I don't mess with people collectively in America. It's just too messed up. The wisest thing to do is to meet people individually and deal with individuals. When you start getting collective, dealing with whole ethnicities, I'm just being honest. That's when you will get disappointed. So what I do, instead of just writing everybody off, what I personally do in my life, I just individualize my love to people. If I don't mess with like Mexicans, it'll be a Mexican that I individualize my love and respect to, because that's how you know a person values humans. That's how you know a person really ain't racist. Well, instead of going collective, I know it, you gotta listen to it. It's almost like a Jedi mind trick, but it's not. Instead of going collective, they go individual, which means they took an extra step to love that particular ethnicity. That's a 7. Well, if he was racist, you just write everybody off. You don't deal with that race at all. But the next step was, okay, the collective part ain't working. Let me individualize it now. Which means you've taken another step to still love this same ethnicity, which shows you're not a racist. Because that'd be a good cop-out if he was a racist. Well, look at all they did. Look at all they did to me. Don't you think I should walk away from them? But if you really are not a racist, then you would individualize. You would take that next step. And then that's how you know that people value humanity in every ethnicity. Okay, I take another step. I don't mess with them collectively, so don't pull up collectively. Okay? If I don't mess with you collectively, as a community, don't pull up as a community. If I meet someone of you that I embrace, that's what it is. I've proven to do that. But don't pull up collectively because it ain't all good. It ain't all good. It's a lot of stuff that you know that they did. You know it, I know it. All right? So don't pull up collectively, acting like I'm supposed to embrace you when you know how you've acted collectively. You know who it applies to. You know who it applies to. So that's why I individualize everything. You know what I'm saying? That's how I move. That's the best model. That's the best policy. Individualize in these days, because ain't nothing right collectively. If everything was right collectively, why ain't nothing being done? In politics, anywhere you go, it's nothing that is collective is working in America. Nothing. So then you have to individualize. And this shows your love for humanity. Another example, I don't rock with Americans really. Everybody watch my videos, I'm pretty sure you know that. But I still can, boom, individualize and pull some Americans to my side. You feel me? And that shows really, boom, I was never against Americans. That part, that's a 7. Collectively, they failed me. Collectively, they have did things against me. Collectively, they have played games around me. But you see that I still value humanity because I abstract individually out of America. I extract people individually out of here. I could just write everybody off. That's real. So if you're smart, you can follow me. You can see that I have a sense of humanity. You can see I'm not a racist, but I take precautions and I move to where I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't understand that, then maybe you haven't been out here like I have. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you haven't been all up and down around like I have. I've been all over the country. So, you know, if you haven't done that, then it comes back to what I've been saying. You're basically out of. You have not had my experience, basically, which means you really don't have the right to be trying to pull up or do anything, really. See, this is the real meat of these issues. Because it's easy to write stuff off as racism. It's real easy to do that. But then, why don't you sit down and talk to somebody sometimes? Because, like, for example, let's just say you have a white woman that's a librarian, right? And she took the same route home every day, just a normal life of a librarian. On her route one day, she gets raped by a black man. She never really interacted with black people. She really didn't never know how black people are just from the things she's seen on TV. She's a real white woman, just like totally white. No white, black friends or nothing, right? She gets raped by a black guy. This has happened before somewhere in America. By the way, you know it happened. She gets raped. Now, it's easy to say, oh, well, you should just love black people besides that. But let's be human for a second. Let's be human for a second. She had no interactions with black people at all. She gets raped. Now, is it racism or is it hate? It's easy to say, oh, now she's like, she just hates, she don't want to be around no black people. She don't want to see nothing black because this man raped her. Now, it's easy to say, oh, she's just a racist person and just write her off, right? Dismiss her, not take her seriously or anything, right? It's easy to do that. Instead of saying, okay, she seems withdrawn. She seems like, she seems like a nice person, librarian. Why is she against black people like that? Then you sit down and talk to her, and she just opens up and tells you she's been raped by a black guy. Now you understand that it's not racism. See, this is the meat of situations, because a lot of times these days, lately, we've been bringing hate on ourselves as a people. As black people, you've been bringing hate on yourself. All this robbing, all this ratchet stuff, all this crazy stuff, and you may not care, right? But this is why a lot of people are starting to hate, and it's not racism. So these days, is it really, how much of it is racism and how much of it is, I can't stand those ratchet people? Come on now, you don't want to be real. I can't stand those people that just run and steal and do all this, the conning and all this other stuff. I can't stand these people that's just pushing people on train tracks. Yeah, it was a black man that pushed this Asian woman here in NYP, in New York, right here in New York, pushed this woman on the train tracks. Black guy. Now, how you think her Asian family feel? Now, let's be 100. Let's be 100. Now, they can look past that, but then they're gonna think some of how he is from his people. They're gonna think it's from his people, how he is. The black man that pushed that Asian woman on the train tracks last year. And she was an advocate for homeless people. And he pushed her on the tracks unprovoked, and she died. Now, how do you think her Asian family? Let's be human. Let's be human. Let's not be biased. Let's be human. How do you think her Asian family feel about black people? That they want to individualize and probably not be a part of the collective. It's unfortunate, but it happens. It happens. And that's what people start doing. Okay? I don't have a problem with necessarily a black person, but collectively speaking, I'm not embracing. Same thing with blacks feeling with whites. I don't have a problem with embracing someone that is white per se, but I'm not collectively embracing white America. You see how this works? So you can stop thinking and running around here like John Wayne, acting like everybody's a racist, running around here like you're catching the racist, and you're just an ignorant moron. You know that white people brought so much hate on themselves. And you can easily say it's not you. You can easily say that, but you're being a simpleton. You're being a simpleton. You are being a simpleton when you say it's not you. Okay? It's been the example of the likes of you that has brought the hate on to you. That's why you have the hate that you have, because of the people of the likes of you. Okay? And so is that racism? Considering all you've done, even up to now, is it really racism? Or is it hate for specific reasons? Because we have to differentiate. Here's the thing. The reason why you differentiate racism from hate, because hate can be fixed. Racism probably won't be. That's a 7. Racism can not, you probably won't be fixed, but hate can be fixed when you get to the center of the problems that cause the hate. So if you talk to the librarian, that is not racist, she's just hateful, then you can talk to her about, well, a black woman could say, well, I also was raped by a black man as well. Really? Yes. Because what she will think is that maybe he did it because she was white. Maybe he felt she was weak. You see what I'm saying? A pushover. And then she sees that a black woman went through it too. And so what happens is now you've gotten to the bottom of it by talking to her. And now she's letting go of the hate. And now there's no reason for you to even question whether she's a racist. But if you sit up and you just dismiss everybody, and you don't think black people are capable of being hated, there are reasons, legitimate reasons, then you'll sit up, be talking about, well, that person's just a racist. That person's just a racist. No, let's investigate. Everybody want to investigate something. Let's investigate. Let's investigate the field, that person's experience with black people. Let's investigate that. Let's investigate their experiences with black people. Let's investigate their experiences with Mexicans. You see? Because then we figure out who's really concerned and who's not. You ain't really concerned. You just as stupid as the people that went around saying it. But for people that are concerned, why don't you investigate that person's experience with the people you say they're racist against? Boom. And I bet you'll find out that it ain't even racism. It's hate for specific reasons. That's what it is. And no matter how much you want it to be racism, no matter how, it ain't. No matter how much you keep crying that it's racism, it's not. The problem is usually bad experience. Bad experiences. A bad experience. That's what it is. Okay? And that's what it is. So that's what you got to realize. These people walking around here talking about, oh, this is racism, this is that, and this and that. Half of those people, if half of those people are nothing but losers. They're looking for a reason to have a problem with you. They're looking for some reason to have a situation. They're losers. They have nothing better to do with their time. That's how I see it. They have nothing better to do with their time. Yeah, so I don't let people play with me like that. If you want to know why I'm in the position that I carry myself, then ask me. Ask me why I don't really deal with this particular people. Ask me why. And I'll tell you my experiences that I've experienced. Don't sit up and assume that I'm just some racist, that unprovoked racist. I just look at this particular ethnicity and I don't, nah. Don't be a simpleton. Don't be a simpleton. Not, at least, especially here in America, is don't be a simpleton here on on the issue of race, because it's more times than not, it's hate. And the Bible does say it's a time to love and it's a time to hate. Now, what I believe is hate in a healthy context helps you see what you need to repel from your life. If it's doing something to you over and over again and you start to hate it, that means that's what you need to repel. Maybe it's for a season, because it says it's a time to love, it's a time to hate, it's a time to embrace, it's a time to refrain from embracing. So maybe those feelings, this hate that's described in the Bible, maybe it's like what I'm describing. It's able to repel, it's repelling something that is not good for you. For whatever reason, it's not good for you. It's not saying you got to go out here. I'm not telling you what the hate you got to what you have. You got to go out here and hurt somebody and harm. I'm saying you got to repel it. Not even go pursue it, not try to destroy it. If you hate it, the hate I'm talking about, you have to repel whatever it is. And it may be for a day, it may be for 2 days, it may be for 2 years, it may be for 2 months. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So what people don't realize is, see, these people who don't play with me, what's happening now is every case that they had on me of sexual perversion, racism, all of it is dissolving. They have nothing. And you know what that means? Their destruction. Well, you've been saying a whole bunch, buddy. You've been jumping around to racism, sexual perversion, all these different things, all these different cases, and none of them are sticking. And I'm totally articulating myself properly, letting you know 44 states got child marriage. Boom. What you doing, What you doing, Joe? What you doing, Joe? You got 44 states with child marriage. Can't be serious. Can't be. And I am. Boom. You got 44 states with child marriage in America. You cannot be serious trying to find any sexual predator or even painting someone like some folklore, dirty sex predator, some horror character like a Jason or Freddy Krueger. You know who's the Freddy Krueger? 44 states with child marriage. You know what's worse than racism? Black on black crime. Black on black crime is worse than racism. Well, on the ground level, on the average level, yeah. Yeah. Now, you want to say what lasted the longest? Racism, is it obviously black on black crime is what I'm talking about in the context I'm talking about is a cultural thing here in America, you could say, or something that's been going on here in America in the culture. And it may not have a longer history, but it still, to me, is more high ranking as worse. Because if you were so in tune with your people, then why would you be killing them? When you seen all they went through in this country, you seen all the history, you shouldn't even be able to bring yourself to do it. But yet you still do. See, the difference between me and you is I give it to anybody. Anybody can get it. Anybody can die playing with my life. But what I noticed is certain individuals is only talking about killing black people. Well, you talking about killing somebody around the way in your music. Yes, JoJo around the way. I'm going to get JoJo around the way, this, and that, and the third. But you ain't never talking about white enemies, other races, and you ain't never talking about them. Yeah, I'm just keeping 100. And you can say, well, it's where I'm at and how I'm at. Nah. It's more enemies. It's more enemies than just other black people. And that's all we hear. And if you listen to me closely, I insinuate clearly that anybody can get it. That's how you know I ain't racist, because anybody can get it. That part. So, we have to clear up the foolishness, man, because people just sit up here and they really just want you to die. They want you to fall off. They want something to happen to you, and it ain't gonna happen for me. Like, what you're gonna see happen is all the stuff they said is foolishness. All the stuff they said doesn't add up. And they are doing worse than what I could ever possibly do as a country. At the end of the day, whatever it is, they still doing it worse. Even if it was true, they doing it worse. Whether it's racism, okay, you killing each other. That part. Okay? Perversion, okay, you got 44 states with child marriage, buddy. And so either way it goes, they doing the worst. They doing it worse. That's the funny part. To me. That's the funny part. So, you would think someone like me, as you listen to me, you would probably imagine I don't take people seriously here. Not too much. Not too much. Not too much. Not when you got 44 states for child marriage. No, I don't take you seriously. When you're doing it and you don't, or you don't know it. Either one. And that's why it's just impossible for them to win. Because they're really the ones doing all of this stuff. They're really the ones destroying each other. They really the one that have it out for each other. So it's like, it's no way the universe, God is gonna let that win. You know what I'm saying? It's fake. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It does. It's hypocrisy. It's all of that. You know what I'm saying? That can't win. That's not gonna be able to make it. And we're gonna be right here. I'm gonna be right here, countering all the images, all the foolishness that you sent. Got me a nice, beautiful fiance. I'm good. I'm good. Ain't none of that foolishness can work. I'm countering all of that with her love, with her life, countering all that foolishness. Yeah, man. So that's just like, I just can't let people play me. I just can't. I just can't let people play me. So now it's switching around to what do we do with you? Because I think you just gonna walk away.